wrote it too, but I'll just tell you again, is like, you really, since like the first day that I moved in, made me feel like family, and I can't tell you, like my sister who's in China is, you know this all, but it's the same age as you, and it's just like really awesome because you just like filled that role so much since like day one, not since like halfway through the year when I started feeling comfortable with you. Like, started feeling comfortable with you like from the beginning. I just love it so much. I love that like we can be silly and like we can look at each other and be like, we're 2 hours away from Washington D.C. Let's go tomorrow, and like we did for less than 24 hours this past week, and it was awesome. And I love too though that like we can just be serious and not like it switches on and off like when we need it, you know. And I think that like my favorite thing about you that I just admire so much is that you're so wise, and I don't even think you realize it. Like when you speak, like it's just like I would have never had the thoughts that you have shared with me, and so like for you to share them with me has just like it's made me wiser in a way I could have never gotten it if I didn't know you. And so like I treasure your words, and when you say, I feel like you should do this or not, you know, like I really think about that because you have this amazing wisdom, and I can't even tell you, but like you do so much. And so I just like I treasure your words because they're true and they're good, and I treasure like the energy that you put into our relationship. Like you are exhausted some days when you come home from work and you still like ask me how my day is, or if I like say something you're like, let's pray about that. Like how do you even have the energy for it? And like you probably don't, but you just do it anyway. And so like that's just something that I've learned from you. You know, it's just like you really put other people before yourself, and you actually do it. You don't just talk about it. And I've seen it for like a whole year, and it's just floored me. And so I just want to say like thank you so much. I feel so loved by you.
Thank you. And like your ability to love is beyond your years. Like I haven't met someone quite like you before, and in that and your intention to love people just goes a long way, and a lot of people see it. And like one of the things that touched me the most was when you were visiting with my mom before she went to the hospital, and like that meant so much to me. And I just, you're amazing, and I just can't wait to see, just this is a stepping stone for you to go to Honduras, and it's just going to be exciting where you go next. So, yeah, I love you so much, and I appreciate you.
I love you.
And I wasn't spying on her one day, but
Oh, I'm so curious. What's coming next?
I drove up, and one day she was on the side of the road, and she was witnessing to a homeless guy who had a sign that said, basically, you know, it was, I'll work for food or for free or whatever it was, and you were out there witnessing to him. And first I thought to myself, I said, Lord, I need to go cover her and protect her. I need to watch over her because, you know, I don't want that guy being stupid. So, and the Lord just said, I got this covered. It was funny, then the thought came to my mind, I probably should be praying for the guy. Because
Awesome.
I was just saying, you know, I mean, if he did something stupid, Rachel would just like, yeah.
She's a white belt in Taekwondo.
That's right.
As of a couple of weeks ago, Groupon.
Groupon.
But you know, I mean, I'm telling you guys, how many young ladies do you know would pull over on the side of the road and witness to one of those guys? I mean, she was like right in his face, you know, telling him about Jesus. She's like, yeah, I can just see it. He's wonderful. You need to love him. He's better than what you're trying to get. And you know, but that's who Rachel is. I mean, it's like she's a Joan of Arc. I mean, yeah. All right. But see, yeah, all right. No
Rare
joke.
moment.
She don't work, but I'll let you explain that. All right. So in that, you instill courage into the hearts of people. And you impart that spirit that allows people to rise up and do what they're uncomfortable with. I'm sure you've even challenged some of the people in this room to rise up and do something that you're a little bit uncomfortable with. Well, Rachel is a forerunner, and she really has the ability to stir up the gifts within you and cause you to get out of yourself and into the work of the kingdom. And that's the most incredible gift that I've ever seen in a woman of your age. That is fearless. In the face of my encourage and exhort the woman in you that is willing to take frontier in the spirit where no man has gone before. And that is a God-given gift in you from the Lord. This is not, you just want to be adventurous. It's because God's put this in you that you've got to step out and declare the good news about Jesus, even to those that have never heard him before. And so, I honor that in you, Rachel.
I know. I'm trying to get it going. Here we go. Okay, go on.
My earliest memory, I mean, we've talked about this, and some of y'all have heard this. I taught her when she was 3, and it was my first year teaching. And I was sitting in my chair, the kids are on the playground, and I look up, and Rachel is on top of the monkey bars, standing, and she got her hand, she's, this is Owen! It's Owen! Look at me! And so I look at her, like, new teacher, and I'm going, oh wow, that's really great. It never occurred to me that I should say, oh, you should not be over you know? And she goes, aren't you going to go, Rachel, get down! And you, when you did that, I saw your dad. But as I thought about it, you being on top of those monkey bars was really who you were. That fearlessness was there at 3. That's a gift that he's given you. And there is this whole, Joan of Arc thing, and she lived for the kingdom in a fearless in the face of adversity. And I was thinking about that, and then there's a side of you that it's like, well, when Amy was little, we used to joke because we were like, she'd be the only girl on the football team with governor hair. And so it's like, because she had this, I can do anything that I can do, and yet there's this also beautiful feminine part. And so there, you have that as well. So it's not like just this fearless, I'm going to take the world, but there's this beauty as a woman. And I just want to affirm that. And whoever said what an incredible gift you're going to be to your husband, indeed. Indeed.
Bring that on, Jesus.
Indeed. And the other thing is I was, sitting here, I was thinking about Paul. And, he was a sent one. And he was fearless, but he loved deeply and dearly. And I've heard you talk about that, like, I want to love. I want that to be part of who I am, like, not just, on a mission, but like to let your heart, and I see that, he sees that in you. And then the last thing I was struck with about you is that, like, when Paul, he's like doing kingdom business, and it's like, I think it's in Acts 16, and, there's the fortune teller, who'd been a slave, and she's like, these guys are serving the Most High God, and that's, and he, does kingdom business, and he finds himself in jail. And instead of going, God, and it says that, Paul and Silas were whipped and beaten and thrown in the inner prison, but instead of him, going, God, I was doing your business, why do you have me here? They praised him in the middle of the storm. And I've seen that, like, in your life. In the middle of hard places, you've praised him. You've not said, God, where are you? Where are you doing this? You maybe have but God. And so you always come up in that place of but God. And so, sent one, Apostle Paulette, Jonah Mark, and Rachel. I love you. I love you. Yeah.
Your face, and I remember your love. So that was cool to get to reconnect in Georgia, and now we're here.
Of honor, and you honor leadership, and I see that we're sending you off in honor, and so I just bless you wherever you go with that honor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Clap or something.
I just wrote this down. Call Harvey, good day.
That's awesome.
No, you don't need to follow anything. That doesn't matter.
No, just some love said. You didn't know what at all, but you were just like, you're amazing. And I remember praying for your foot, and from now on, like, you wrote me a few really sweet notes that I have in my Bible, and like, you couldn't have possibly known everything that I was going through and moving here, and how deep out in the water I was trusting the Lord and facing some like crazy stuff from my past, but I really held on to those words of encouragement, and they were powerful for me. Even though like I knew who I was, it was just like, I didn't even know you, but just like knowing you were there and I could have gone, even though I didn't accept your invitation right away. As an introvert, I'm sorry. But knowing you were there, it was like a foothold out in the corner that it meant a lot to me.
Awesome. I'm so
So
glad.
I love your gift of hospitality and just like, anyone come. It's beautiful.
Home with you, like where you are is your home.
Probably want to take it with me.
When I think of you, Rachel, is thoughtful. I don't think I've ever met a person so thoughtful as you. I just feel like you're so thoughtful in just like in details of people and just life, and your zeal for life and your passion for life, of course, just your life in God has definitely provoked me, but also just getting to be around you, like that there's such a a depth in your love, but such a lightheartedness too, and that lightheartedness is such a blessing to be around, because it reminds you how fun God is, and to not get too serious, and to just have fun with the Lord and have fun and enjoy things. And you seem to be able to just take whatever situation and see the positive in it, quickly, and you seem to be the one that so often does that, and that brings others into that, just the positiveness of whatever that situation is. And so I just really appreciate that about you. And also I just feel like I've never met anybody that so exemplifies like just what a friend is, like a faithful friend, like that you just really exemplify like friendship. I've seen that not only in your interactions with me as a friend, but with others too, with everybody. You do that, and it's just a beautiful thing. And it's like it's also challenging, because it makes you want to be more of that. So I really appreciate that about you.
Well, so I could say lots of deep things, which has been very beautiful, and but I feel like I'm going to take it somewhere else for a moment.
Thank you, Lord.
You almost have me as nervous as Pastor Sam. Well, I could say, we haven't gotten to hang out like one-on-one much, but so I'll say the nice stuff and then I'll skip to the funny stuff. But you always have a huge smile for me and a hug and sometimes a prayer and a laugh and definitely encouragement. And you, encouragement for sure. I think so. It's like you have your hand out and you're like, here's some encouragement. And it's not like you're trying, it's just who you are. And so what came to mind is, in addition to that, is our little chit chat, just our brief little conversations about like wanting our husbands and God to bring us our husbands and stories of online dating.
Yeah. Casey, mind I use Christian English?
I'm sorry.
My going out party.
Is it? It's.
That doesn't make.
Oh wait. Okay. No, I'll edit that out.
Yeah, this is
No, don't edit it. This is her personal video. Let me just throw that
Yeah, well, I can make it unlisted so only you can see the link. It won't be public.
It's not
Yeah.
because I'm embarrassed, it's just because Christian Mingle needs to pay me for that sort of advertising.
Yeah. Oh, okay. All right.
Alright.
It's all good.
No, I really appreciate that. Like, you really, you can just meet somebody where they are and what they're, what's on their heart, and like identify with them with your own stories and laughs, and so I just I think about like, I understand. There's some weird guys out here. And so I've enjoyed you sharing with me some of those tidbits. And we still never get our coffee and talk about at length our stories.
Man, if I knew it had been this funny, I would have shared some more. This is great.
It just really blessed me. I remember that time over at Jason's party, and you're like, oh yeah, and you're like telling me this stuff, and you're like, we need to get together and talk about all your stories.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, so it's good. We bonded with online dating. And so,
You gotta.
so what I have to say about that for the future is that now that we've shared a little bit of our journey and our desire for our husbands, I hope that our next stories that we share about relationships will be about our husbands. Yeah, we found them. This is what they're like. So, yeah, so we get to share our new families with each other. And, I'm gonna name your brother Pickle. Cause Gabby was walking outside the church last Sunday, and I said, "Bye, Wiggles," because she and her sister call each other Wiggles, and the case did you call her Pickles?
My name is Carol a little bit.
And I said, "Look, my glasses are fogging." I said, "No, I didn't call her Pickles, but I'm gonna call you Pickles." So we're gonna take real good care of you, brother.
I'm not worried about you at all.
Pickles. I like me some pickles.
Jim Glasgow, man. He
Yeah.
always had to go pickles.
So now, honey, all I got to say is via con Dios.
Let's go with God.
What is that? What is she even saying?
You going down, you better learn how to speak some Spanish.
Spanglish.
You going down to one of them Mexican-speaking countries? No, let me tell you something. I majored in Spanish. Oh, I got to tell you this. I majored in Spanish, and so I had gone down to Ecuador. I lived in Ecuador for 4 months, and I did all this.
This is incredible.
And my family now, see, they're from North Carolina, but anyway, so they're sitting there and they go, they speak Mexican down there? No. In Ecuador. Oh my God. All right. So you learning how to speak Mexican? I'm learning how to speak Spanish, y'all. Anyway, so like I said, vaya con Dios.
Vaya con Dios.
And I have,
Check.
yes.
We'll do that, whatever that means.
Go with God. That's what it means. Go with God.
Go in.
It was so red though. It's hard to hear what you're saying.
It's really, it's a
awesome.
blessing. Like, go with God. Yeah.
I would pay to see you.
But just another word came to mind is that you really celebrate who people. And so I mean, my next birthday, like or whatever after that, like I don't know, how somebody's gonna like meet that, because you just like, I mean, it was like, after I thought you were done, then something else would come, and then something else, and it was just like, she just keeps on giving and giving and giving. I was just like, man, like, it just made me feel so special, and like, I mean, I hadn't had anybody like ever do something like that to me before. So, I mean, that, I want you to know, like, that meant so
We all
much.
keep up the tradition while
You know, like there were some new people today, and I was really blessed to see how so many people like came up to certain people that were new and like really loved on them, and you do that. I keep hearing other people saying that. So yeah, that's that same thing. I think we all can like really.
Let me just say, there's some people in this room. I'm looking at a big one right now, another one like that. I have just learned so much about like how to love and how to celebrate. And so the only like thing good that any of us have is the Holy Spirit like lives in us. And like apart from God, we're utterly bankrupt. And so all these things that y'all are saying, I feel your love and I'm receiving them. But like I only can receive them through the cross. And I'm not trying to be all churchy, but like seriously, like we're not very pretty without the Lord.
Like, with your friends, it just like, it's almost like instantaneous. But, I don't know. You feel like a sister to me. And, pretty competitive with each other. Like, one moment when I knew that me and Rachel were like soul sisters is brought her to my house. All of a sudden, like,
The wrestling match!
Yeah, that's what it was.
You attacked me first. We can discuss that later.
We can find it out later.
I don't know, every time I interact with you, I just feel like just a little piece of my soul is comfortable. Just someone that I can talk to about anything. And even, I don't know, I can just be really real with you. And that's so special. Like, I think that many people when they're with you feel that way. And it's so easy for you to share the love of the Lord because you're like people in a fast way. And just make them feel at home. And I'm so excited for all the people that you're going to meet in Honduras. I think that you're going to be like that catalyst for them to just open up and experience and be part of themselves to love others. And I love you a lot.
Thank you, friends. I love you so much. I'm gonna miss you. But we'll Skype. And Facebook.
Matt Barker, he's
Matt.
awesome.
Yeah.
He's awesome.
Yeah, but not that.
Growing up, we actually had a little cousin crush going on. But
Cousin crush.
Kids around you, and they're just gonna like follow you everywhere. You're gonna be like a little pipe for Jesus.